I'm Dave Floss, the Kwisatz Satiric.
And I'm Mike Davis, that flying fat man.
And this is the Mentally Unbalanced Podcast.
This is world-renowned scientist and fan of the 80s Stephen Hawking. The following podcast may contain foul language and adult subject matter. I think it is funny as shit, and if you are not in a black hole, should give it a listen. Hello, this is Stephen Hawking. Welcome to the Mentally Unbalanced Podcast featuring the Circle of Idiots.
Now it's all... I'm in my own head! Welcome to the Mentally Unbalanced Podcast featuring the Circle of Idiots, episode 27 in this September of 2021. Tonight, we're going to be talking about movies.
Going to the show.
Going to the movies. We got DUNE. We got DUNE coming up right around the corner. Month of October. And, personally, I've been anticipating this movie since 1984, when the original movie of DUNE came out. But, of course, in the last couple of years, as there's been talk about this new DUNE movie, and then the release date got pushed out, we are, I'll just say, fingers crossed, we'll actually be going to the movies and seeing the new DUNE on the big screen. Something that we have not really had an opportunity to do much in the last 18 months.
Not without renting the theater.
Which
I would do.
I would
they offered it.
I would do that for DUNE as well. I'm a movie snob.
So far they're not.
Yeah, I'm a movie snob. Which is to say, like watching a movie at home, when I'm in the theater, I want absolute silence. I really want to be able to have the entire theater to myself. I don't like other people, generally speaking, especially at the movies. But
especially now.
For DUNE, I'm very excited. I also don't like getting sick. But even before, since I was young, I hate going to the movie. So much so that I will avoid certain theaters because they are notorious for having crowds of, like, young people, for example.
Yes,
even when I was young.
That's what I'm going with.
Yes.
Young.
They're very young people in the theater, and I can't stand people who talk during the movie, either about the movie or about something even unrelated to the movie. Just drives me fucking crazy. It drives me nuts. But I'm gonna put that aside, and I'm super excited to go see DUNE in the theater, returning to the movie theater and seeing DUNE. Now we've been able to see a couple movies, not many, and before COVID, we were big into both going to see new releases and a lot of, like, the Fathom events where they would do, like, I'm trying to think, we saw Krull on the big screen, Alien on the big screen, Aliens on the big screen, Transformers the movie on the big screen, Dark Crystal on the big screen. We saw a bunch of these classic movies from our childhood, which we had not seen on the big screens since we were kids. Right? Which was awesome. And then, of course, some of the new releases. There were some of the Avenger movies coming out, right before COVID. And what a wonderful experience. And then, of course, lockdown, and suddenly seeing movies was beyond a treat, because it was renting a theater, which thankfully, by us at least,
cost
you could rent a theater, you could rent an entire theater, and you were limited to a certain number of people. But I think it broke down to be, if you maxed out the people, it was like $5 a person. And when we went, it was about $10 a person, which is actually very reasonable.
It's
and you could go with a small group of people, and you you'd wear your mask and you'd socially distance, but at least we got to see a couple things on the big screen. The hard part is it's been like a drought. There's been very little to see on the big screen, and I think of the 2 or 3 movies I've seen in the theater in the last 18 months, I think 2 of them were older movies. They were not like new releases because there was nothing getting released. I saw Clue.
Yeah, we saw Clue.
We saw
Spider-Verse.
We saw Into the Spider-Verse, and that was a lot of fun to watch on the big screen. But not
there was one more. But
there haven't been any. There haven't been any big ticket go to the movie things. There's just been nothing being released. Right, a lot of stuff got delayed, or they did streaming where you could get it on online the same day that you would go to the theater, which honestly was very convenient. But at this point, DUNE. Theater. DUNE equals theater.
Yeah,
I want to see this.
Actually, spring for IMAX tickets.
I'm really fighting the urge, not just for IMAX tickets, but night of release night.
Yeah,
it has been a long time since I've said I want to deal with the crowd.
I would totally go to a midnight show.
Yeah, totally.
I think take the next day. I went to was like it's probably one of the Batmans.
I can't even tell you. One of the only midnight show I remember going to was The Fugitive. The Fugitive? Yeah.
On release day?
On release day, midnight show. Showing? There was a midnight showing. The difference being it was release day, and we went. It wasn't like the first showing like they do on Thursday.
So it was just.
It was the Friday of release, and we went to the late show of the day. Gotcha. This was before they did
the last showing.
I went to the last showing of the first day. Exactly. This was before they did the whole. We can technically show it the night before, as long as the rolling credits roll into the next possible day in India Standard Time.
China.
So.
As long as the clock ticked in China.
This is one of those where as soon as I can go see it, I want to go see it.
Do you remember, what was the last movie you saw in pre-lockdown?
In the before times. Before we were going Thunderdome. At the theater where 10 men enter and maybe not all leave. I don't even remember. I'm trying to think. One of the last movies I think I saw was Endgame. I want to say that was right. Wasn't that December?
Endgame? No, that was summer.
Really? That's okay. I don't know. I really don't remember the last movie I saw before lockdown. The other thing too is I didn't anticipate lockdown. Nobody did. So there was a lot of movies that might have come out in the theater, and I thought I got time. I'll go see them. And I didn't feel nearly the compulsion to have to see everything in the theater. So like a Marvel movie, I love seeing those in the theater because there's something about the big screen experience with an action movie, a science fiction movie. I've never been one that's like Remains of the Day. I don't need to see that on the big screen.
Well,
right, and my wife is completely different because she would want to see those period pieces on the big screen, and I just want to see the explosions, the sound, the lights, the color,
see the fancy teacups, and
the tea cozies, and I mean I get it, but for me, I wasn't. I'm trying to think. Endgame was one of the last probably I saw in the theater. I'm having a hard time.
So the last one we saw was the Birds of Prey movie.
Ooh, yeah, that is not a good one to go out on.
Whatever of Harley Quinn.
Yeah, the Emancipation Proclamation of Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I liked it, I enjoyed it, but
I'm glad I watched it at home.
For it to be
well, for that to be the going out in style movie. I mean, if you're going to say, what was hey, we're going to be locked down for 18 months.
It was pre that. That was February, so.
Oh, wow, yeah. Oh, that was right. Yeah, I don't think I saw anything in the beginning of 2020.
Yeah.
I don't think so. If I did, it clearly wasn't memorable. So I probably the holiday season before I might have gone and seen something, but I don't remember what it was. So it had been a few months, and then we hit lockdown, and then there was nothing to go to. So here's the interesting thing. And so Mike knows this, of course, and now I'm going to share. I'm going to share with our audience. If you haven't picked up by the number of...
I mean, obviously...
I'm going to share.
Be the point
I'm going to share more. I'm going to get deep. I'm going to get personal with. Hold on. So I like movies. I don't know if that's evident from nearly any of the podcasts, video casts,
20 of whatever these are.
I love movies, and I have a vast. I have a vast collection of movies, and I've watched movies over and over again. There's some movies that I love, and I'll watch them multiple times. COVID tested me. COVID tested me.
Did it?
Because I reached a point where
it vexed you.
I was Netflixing
you were terribly
myself.
Vexed?
I was very vexed. I was Netflixing myself. I was spending more time going through my movie collection than actually picking something to watch.
Yeah.
And I reached a point. There were some nights where I would go through my movies and be like, I know I want to watch a movie, and I'm looking, and then I finally just I gave up. I had to give up, and just be like, okay, not doing it. I got burned out on my movies. That was intense. That was very intense.
That's from
and then
a man who watched City Slickers for 4 days straight.
It's true. This is an absolute true story. When I would watch something or a song, as you know only too well, if I like something, I listen to it so much. I took all my lifetime worth of listening and I condensed it down into straight back to back. Straight back to back. So I'm going to watch this movie literally on repeat for several days, and then I might not take another look at it again in my life. But yeah, I will pick a movie and just watch it over. I burned out my first VHS tape of Aliens.
Into the ground.
And I had to go buy another VHS tape of Aliens. I watched it that much that eventually the tape failed. So yeah, I got kind of burned out. I got actually burned out. And then I was like, then it got weird because now I'm like going to the well.
Yeah.
Right? And now it's like, hey,
you have to deal with thoughts.
still movies. I'm not just thinking shit. I'm not doing that. I'm talking about going to what movies would I not really have considered pre-COVID that are now back on the table. They are back on the table, and now I'm. You know what?
What would fall in that category?
Running Scared. Billy Crystal, Gregory Hines, which is
awesome,
no. Don't get me wrong. We're not saying they're bad movies. They're movies that just never got into my rotation and never got into my collection, so I never thought of them. And I really had to dig.
With the amount of times Sweet Freedom comes up on your playlist.
You'd
would think that would be.
It's like every third song is Sweet
Freedom.
Freedom, and yet I haven't seen the movie since the 80s, right, or 90s. Wow. Now, granted, there were some equally abysmal choices in that. There are some true wow, I'm watching Toy Soldiers.
Yep.
That's
more than once. I've gone on some pretty hard garbage runs. Oh
man, yeah, it's been you know what? I can't watch Top Gun. I'm done with Top Gun. But you know what? What was that Nick Cage movie with the choppers with the fucking
Firebirds?
Firebirds, baby.
Firebirds.
Yep. Horrible movie. But hey,
the Top Gun of
I found out what the Joker meant when he said, I'm like a dog chasing my tail. I wouldn't know what to do with it if I ever caught it. I caught it, and then I didn't know what to do. So I just stirred up all of these movies. And I'm not kidding you. If you look at my search history on the internet, it's literally crappy 80s movies. And then, Nightbreed. I'll watch that tonight. They were they're so bad. Some of them were so bad, but it was like a palate cleanser. I needed to wipe the slate clean so that when I went and saw a good movie, I would be ready.
Eat a pile of shit.
Yes.
So I could better appreciate vanilla ice cream.
Exactly. I needed to appreciate the vanilla. And the only way to do that sometimes is to eat a pile of your own shit. So we're clearly excited. I'm so excited not only to be going back to the movies, but to be going and seeing Dune. And I've been purposely watching as little about it as possible. I watched the trailers, I watched the first and second trailer, and that was enough for me to have a full-on nerd chub. Literally rocking a nerd chub on that, just from that. And then when they had other little snippets and other things, I'm like, nope, I don't want to see anything else.
Yeah,
I want to take it all in.
I haven't read anything about them.
So my family is also excited. I've got a whole Dune legacy thing going on here because I got Erin, my wife, into Dune. My daughters enjoy Dune, and I got them to watch the original. And for all of its flaws, it has some things going for it, and the underlying story was really good. And when they then saw it was being redone, all I remember is I'd be like driving with the kids. I'm like, hey, did you know Stellan Skarsgård is in it? And they're like, oh, and they know him, right? At least from the Marvel movies, right? And like, oh, he's in it. I'm like, and he's playing Baron Harkonnen. And all of a sudden, like, all of them are like, what? I'm like, yeah. And it's got, I think the only one I'm a little nervous about is our man Jason Momoa playing Duncan, Idaho. It's the only one because I'm looking. Okay.
Duncan's well, they never had any kind of. You literally see Duncan twice.
Yeah, you meet him
for like 5 seconds.
You meet him in the beginning, and you're supposed
only
to
hear him talk about him.
I think what my concern is not so much about. I love the idea that Duncan has a bigger. A more developed role, at least it looks like in this new movie. But I look at the cast. It's always about looking at the cast, and you've got, what I consider to be like. I was about to say rock star, but it's the wrong word. I'm looking at people that I was like, that Zendaya is going to. Yeah. She embodies the character of Chani, right? And Stellar Skarsgård, and
fucking Batista is the
beast. And that's where I was like when I'm like, really, Batista? I mean, I love him as Drax, but I'm like, Batista, and then they said, I'm like, he's the beast, perfect.
But he was awesome in. I said the same thing about Blade Runner 2040.
And that's where I was like,
who knew the greatest actor to come out of wrestling would be Batista.
And I agree with you. You watch, if you haven't seen it,
The Rock.
You watch the beginning, obviously, of Blade Runner 2049 and his scene in it. But with the movie, they had like 3 shorts, animated shorts.
The best short is the one with him.
And the one is with him in it, voicing it over. And you realize more than just his physical presence, he actually has. He's got some chops. That's the only area where I'm not sure I've seen Momoa with those chops. I don't know. I've seen it yet.
Game of Thrones.
But I don't. But he was so
menacing.
He was, but that's. I mean, can he do menacing? Absolutely. And can he do Aquaman cocky? But he's done. They fall in a certain category. So I'm curious to see. I'll say this. I'm less than nervous. I'm curious to see if he's on the same level as the other people surrounding him. That's what I'm curious to see. I really hope he is up at that level. Because if he is, it's a win. It's a pure win. What I'm hoping is that because I've seen movies where sometimes one particular, like Arnold Schwarzenegger and anything in the last
Stargate Atlantis.
That's a good point. Okay, that's a good point. All right. So I'm saying. Okay, so I'll say I'm reserved, but I've never seen it either. But I've seen a picture of him. He was bald, wasn't he? One of the feral guards.
He was one of them.
Okay, so
converted.
I'm so like, if that's the worst thing to come out of this movie, then I'm still going to be like, it's the best movie ever made. It's still going to be the best movie ever made. And I really have. Oh man, I'm just okay.
Yeah, fucking Polka Dot Man is Piter.
Oh yeah! I can't. Awesome. Oh my gosh! Baba Yaga from the Ant-Man movies. I feel terrible. I'm forgetting his name. Isn't it like David something? Damashian. So
He's from Chicago.
What you know what I still think one of my favorite performances he's ever been in is in the second Dark Knight movie. Or the second Batman movie, The Dark Knight.
Oh, yeah.
And he's not in it for very long, but he plays a mental patient that the Joker recruits, and he's not a lot of screen time, but he really plays it well. So let's go to segment 2.
Oh, I thought we did.
Segment 2. No, we haven't even gotten there yet. No, this was the longest segue ever. Segment 2.
Boom, the fives.
The fives. 5 by 5 in the pipe. We're going to go with the fives. And for today's video podcast, the fives are going to be your top 5 movie experiences. It doesn't matter. Doesn't have to be from, it could be from last week. It could be from when you were a child. But it's going to be the top 5 in the theater movie experience.
Either on the screen or just, the whole going there night just came together.
Everything. It could be anything you want, but it's as we're thinking about slowly being able to return to the movie theater experience, and thank goodness many of the movie theaters, at least by us, have been able to weather the storm of being limited or closed down for so long. We're looking back at those really incredible and memorable movie experiences with our top 5. Mike, why don't you hit us with your first choice in 5 by 5 movie experiences?
First, it's Empire Strikes Back. And it's the first time you see him looking through the fucking thing, and then you just see the
foot.
Yeah.
The Hoth
and
scene.
They pull out, and first time you see the Imperial walkers.
That is an
just
excellent.
Blew my brain.
That is an excellent choice.
I still get that feeling when I watch it.
The Hoth sequence is one of the all-time best sequences in Star Wars. Probably one of the best cinematic experiences. Period. But definitely in Star Wars, and there's some great ones. There's obviously the Death Star in the first one, the Death Star flight, and in the third one, the larger Death Star battle with the Millennium Falcon. But the Hoth sequence opening of that whole movie is excellent choice.
Specifically,
my number, and these are not actually in necessarily top 5 order. They're just the 5. It's the first one on my list. Transformers the movie. You knew I was gonna go there. 1986, Optimus Prime on the screen, motherfucking rockin' soundtrack. Everything I would want out of a Transformers movie, and then Optimus Prime dies, and I bawl.
Cried like a baby.
Bawl like a tiny child in the theater.
Still get a bit misty in there.
10 years old, and I learned death from Transformers the movie. And I remember not just... Okay, so of course the Prime it was horrible, but I also remember thinking about how awesome it was that Leonard Nimoy, because I'm a Star Trek fan, was the voice of Galvatron, the enemy, the bad guy, the leader of the bad guys. Overall, between that and the soundtrack and seeing Transformers on a big screen, that is definitely one of my all-time favorite going to the movies experiences. All right. Number 2.
What do I got as number 2? I'll go Endgame.
Ooh.
Cap reaches out, fucking Mjolnir just there. Boom.
I knew it.
The whole theater's just like,
okay. So we were together. We saw this movie together.
Yeah.
Do you remember what I did?
You were like,
I literally, there was none of this on the inside. I did it on the inside.
Yeah,
everybody screamed, yes! Oh my god! And I'll tell you, also get a little welled up when Cap is pretty much beaten, broken, defeated, but still stands up, tightens that shield on that busted up arm, and then you just hear Falcon coming over, and then, on the left, and then the music. Oh my god! It was. If you can say whatever you want, and you may not be a fan of Marvel movies, they may not be your thing, but to see what they could do on a comic book, right? Because it's just artwork. When I saw that they had taken one of the biggest, most epic types of moments from the page and put it right there on the screen. You see the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe together on the screen against Thanos and his horde of enemies.
It's amazing.
Holy shit. It was a pure holy shit moment. And they had some great ones leading to then, but nothing bigger than
blows your brain.
Yeah. Totally. Oh my God. It's another excellent choice. Excellent choice. I'm like nostalgic. Like, fuck you guys. We're going to go watch Endgame and we'll be back. All right. My number 2 is conveniently Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Yes. Judgment Day.
Terminator 2. First of all, the first Terminator was one of my favorite movies. Great movie. And to be able to see a sequel done by James Cameron, that was the first thing. You knew it was going to be done extremely well. And all of a sudden, because of his popularity in Hollywood, right, where he had done Terminator, he'd done Aliens, he'd done The Abyss, he had developed a really solid track record. When he came in and did Terminator 2, they threw some money at it. And all of a sudden...
Well, sure, because he proved he could do it in The Abyss.
And he pushed the envelope, and you saw things in Terminator 2, which was 91, 92. Yeah, I rode my bike, so I know it was in that 91, 92 range. And he did things that you still hadn't seen done well for like 5 to 10 years later. Little bit here and there, but he set a bar so ridiculously high. And on top of it, showed that you could have a really incredible special effects,
right,
but still have an incredible story to go with it. It's a good movie with some incredible special effects layered on top of it. The transformation of the Linda Hamilton character from the first movie to the second movie, the obvious dynamic shift of the Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger, going from the Terminator to killer to the one protecting her. Okay. So the other reason now, as a movie experience, not just going crazy about the movie itself, is that I liked it so much. I said I rode my bike. I rode my bike to the movie. It was over the summer, and I rode my bike to the movie theater every single day for a month. Every single day, with maybe 1 or 2 exclusions for a rain. I got on that 10-speed. I drove. Went from my house to the theater, 5-6 miles, and in no sidewalks. It was riding this tiny little skirt on Milwaukee Avenue in Illinois, and going to River Tree Theater. And nearly dying, but I didn't care because if I rode my bike, and at the time as a student, it was like $3 if I went to the matinee, $2 or $3 to go to the matinee. I watched that movie so many times, so because of the repetition, and the fact that I was in the best fucking shape of my life, I was like I watched I started Terminator. The summer of watching Terminator 2, normal. And by the time I went back to school, I was like, completely built up to my muscles, like my legs. Oh my god,
Arnold booty.
Oh my god, it was incredible. All right, Terminator 2. That's my second choice. Mike, let's go with number 3.
I'm gonna go Jurassic Park.
All right. Well, guess what? You just won the Daily Double, my friend.
Oh, nice 20 years.
Because I, too, added Jurassic Park to my list. So we're going to go with doublies. Okay. We're going to go with the doublies. I'm going to ask you to go ahead and share your Jurassic Park experience.
I saw this with our good friend Yuri. We went and saw it. I forget who else was there. But I distinctly remember when the T-Rex attacks, and then they just mayhem happens, how awesome it was. And then when the lawyer runs into the porta-john, and then it comes, and I remember Yuri just like bouncing in his seat and just shouting, "Eat the lawyer!" and then he goes, "Hello!" and then everybody in the theater was like, "Yeah!" It's awesome.
I love it.
That is awesome. That's my Jurassic Park.
My Jurassic Park is because I went to the movie not to see Jurassic Park. I went to see something else. I don't remember to this day what it was, and I'm sitting in the theater, and I hear Jurassic Park in the theater next to me. I hear the huge bass and the stomping, and at some point, I got up out of my seat, left my theater. No, I got up out of my seat, and I asked somebody what's playing in there, and they said that's Jurassic Park. And I then bought a ticket to the next possible showing.
You bought a ticket?
I did. Well, I mean, I didn't, knowing that it had already started, I wanted to see it from the beginning, so I bought a ticket to the next showing. Because it was, whatever. I'm such a nice boy. I'm such a sweet boy. But to me, the story was, the sound was enough for me to be like, I don't know what that is, but I think I need to see it. So that's not quite, I mean, I love your Jurassic Park story. That's classic. Anytime you get participation from the audience, you're having a fun time at the movie theater. So, all right. So we had our daily double. So Jurassic Park. Next on your list.
So it's another one we saw together. Probably the first movie we saw together.
Really?
So I'm thinking Cabin Boy.
No!
Because it's just
Cabin Boy.
I love it so much.
Cabin Boy.
We have a special place for that movie. It's not a great movie, but in a general sense. But the people who love it, and we are two of those people.
We are the two people.
We saw it in the theater.
I don't remember why. Of all the things, because neither one of us was like, "Oh, Chris Elliott's in a movie." We didn't. I don't think we knew anything about it.
Tim Burton, so that gave it a lot of cachet.
Yeah, but let's make it clear. It was like produced by a friend of Tim Burton, but somebody threw Tim Burton's name on it.
Tim Burton was going to direct it, and then he dropped out to do
something better.
I think
whatever it was.
I think it was Ed Wood.
Whatever it was, it was better.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't remember why it ended up just being the two of us. I think it was supposed to be a group thing, and then we ended up being the only ones who showed up.
Sounds about right. Sounds. You know what? That actually sounds like a lot of things that Mike. Hey, we're gonna get a big old group of friends, and it's just me and Mike. I was gonna hit a button, but I lost it. So, wait.
But yeah, so we went and saw it, and we go in, and there's like a handful,
6
of
or 7
other people,
yeah,
in there, couple adults, mostly teenagers, and then us two, and then then it starts, and then we're just busting a gut the whole time.
It's ridiculous busting a gut. We're not talking. We're kind of laughing or thinking the jokes are funny.
It clicked. We still love it.
The talk show host,
David Letterman.
Thank you, David Letterman. David Letterman has a scene in it, and you want to buy a monkey? Yeah, you want to buy a monkey? And the two of us, just mad frenzy, we're laughing our asses off, laughing so loud, obnoxious level. Of laughing, coughing to fall.
I assume everybody else was.
Sure, I thought everybody else. Yeah, no, I'm thinking there
wasn't. The other adults had left.
So by the time the movie's over,
the other teenagers, but they were boy girl couples. Just they came in there to make out.
Yeah, there could have been anything on the screen. I don't think they would have cared. They weren't there to actually see a movie.
So the movie ends and the credits start rolling. The lights come up, and it's just the two of us.
Every single other person left.
He fucking left.
And we're literally laughing and quoting and going. That's an awesome one. That is an awesome choice. And it's hysterical because I think we have to say that sometime later, Mike was dating Rachel, who would later become his wife, and we went over to her parents' house, and we must have gotten it on VHS. We rented Cabin Boy.
We probably owned it by that point.
It's probably true. But we're watching Cabin Boy. It's me, Mike, and his girlfriend. Why I was whatever, I don't know. It's weird, but I'm laughing so hard, and it's like late at night. It was like, I'm laughing so hard that I have a pillow
10 or so.
Pressed against my face, and I'm screaming, laughing into this pillow. And I wake up her mom, even with the pillow muffle. And her mom comes downstairs and says something to the effect of, "Is that boy all right?" like
she asked Rachel, she pulled her aside and she's like, "Are they okay?"
Yeah, it was like,
what's
wrong with them?
And Rachel was like, I don't know.
I want you you have to imagine it's this guy and this guy sitting a few feet apart from each other, laughing her ass off, and between us is Rachel, and she's got just stone face. We're not talking a smile, a smirk. She's watching it and thinking, this is the absolute worst, dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. And when she was like, "This is stupid," yup, and you're watching it, yup. I mean, you're damn right. It was so fucking good. I still, to this day, anytime we have fish sticks, I do fish stick kitties. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you have to see this fucking movie. It's so fucking bad. It's good. It's so good. It's bad. All right. My number 4 pick is Karate Kid.
Oh.
Karate Kid, because I saw the movie in the theater and I was inspired. This is one of those things where the theater, it wasn't the theater experience, it was what happened as a result of the theater experience. I watched Karate Kid, and all of a sudden I saw Danny LaRusso. If Danny LaRusso can learn karate in a span of 2 weeks.
Not the why. Good school. Good school.
It took me a second. I'm like, oh, he's quoting the movie. I got it. I thought if he can do it in 2 weeks, I can do it in 2 weeks. And I tried doing the crane kick, and I want you to just picture this in your head for a moment.
Everyone who did.
I climb up on top of our mailbox post.
You went full... You didn't practice first.
I figured that the only way you could do it properly is if you put yourself in a situation where you had to do it properly. Trial by stone. Okay? Trial by stone. So I climb up the mailbox. I get on top of the post. I get up. I was a lot more flexible and had balance back then. I get up.
6?
I go to kick. My other foot comes down.
That was less than 10, so.
My other foot comes down. Now, of course, it's supposed to come down on the post.
8. Yeah.
It does not. Mm-hmm. I miss the post completely, so now my whole body falls. Mm-hmm. And just by the motion or the way my foot caught, I fell back. Thankfully, it was grass, but I landed on my back, and I swear to God, I'm sitting there, and I just go... As every ounce of air escapes my lungs at once. And this other kid, his name was Todd. I don't remember his last name. He was just the Todd. Is riding on his bike. And it literally is riding by as I'm going.
Just to, as all neighborhoods do have a Todd.
And he rides by on his bike. And he just says, "Dick!" I don't know why. But obviously, we were not good friends.
Apparently, you had terrible form.
He is the town. He's kind of the town bully and everything else.
Todd.
He was 2 years older. He was pushing 10 or 11, and I just remember him riding by on his little BMX bike. And as I'm sitting here thinking I'm going to die because I can't get a breath, it's like in the Simpsons. It was the equivalent. He was just like, "Dick," and then rode on. I could have been dying. So I could have been dying. So yeah, the Karate Kid. Needless to say, I did not learn karate, and I never attempted.
Didn't enroll in a good school.
No, and I did not attempt the crane technique ever again. No. Ever again.
It's got that drum punch though.
Yeah, that I could do. That I could actually do. Although I found it's absolutely worthless. All right, we're on to the 5 and 5. The last 5 and 5. All right, Mike, what is your 5?
Ooh. I think save that for the dimensions.
You gotta think about it.
Young Guns 2. So it was me. I can't remember who the friend was, and then my little brother. My mom dropped us off at the Hawthorne Theater to see Young Guns 2.
Okay.
And then, so, we're there, we're watching, movie previews start, and then there was a, like, this has nothing to do with actual Young Guns 2.
But it's the experience.
But it's the experience of when we went to that just happened to be the movie.
Okay.
But there was it was kind of I just warned myself out.
I was gonna say, I don't know where this is going, but it better be good. Because you're like I'm waiting for Steam to...
Pepsi commercial, I think it was.
Okay.
Of the New Kids. And there was other because it was Young Guns 2,
sure.
It was all the Tiger
Emilio
Beat.
Estevez, and
so it was like us three guys, a couple other guys, and mostly teenage girls of the same age. And New Kids came up, and they were all like, "Ooh!" And my little brother, who couldn't have been more than 10 at that point, was like, "New Kids suck my dick." And all the girls went quiet.
Oh
no! It was hilarious. And then, and then
that's it.
And then, the movie started and whatever.
There you go, folks. Cash that check, because it might not clear tomorrow.
No.
Oh, my God. So it was just the fact that he shouted something in the theater and got... All right.
Yeah. And got like...
My last movie is... I don't know. It's a true story. I don't know. I don't know what the movie was.
Oh.
I think it was maybe one of the Turtle movies, but regardless of the movie, it was not the movie that I went to see. It was what happened at the movie when I saw it. Before I had my lifelong hetero mate, Mike Davis, I had a childhood friend also named Mike. Not Davis, that would be really weird. But I had this childhood friend named Mike Rothschild. Our families were friends. We grew up together, peas in a pod kind of deal. And I'm going to take this moment because I was the shittiest friend in many ways. I was a couple years older, and I was the youngest child in my family.
Ooh.
I was the youngest child in my family, so I was never the older sibling. And Mike was a couple years younger than me, so I adopted kind of the older brother role.
You dove head first.
Oh, yeah, no. When I go for something, I go all in.
Thank God I'm older than you.
Yeah. So
I already had Big Brother.
We go to this movie. We're in the movie theater together. I think his mom took us or dropped us off. And we get dropped off. Yeah. And we didn't have...
super shitty.
Yeah,
I know the story now.
We each had a few dollars, whatever. So I got a soda and a popcorn, and Mike got something and some candy. He didn't get popcorn. And he was kind of had a little bit of buyer's remorse. I don't know why necessarily. It might have been, I had the tub of popcorn and he had like the Skittles, which when you open it only has like 4 Skittles in it. But there was a little bit of like popcorn envy. And I could sense this. It was radiating off of him. So I said, when I'm done, I'll give you the rest of my popcorn. I'll share my popcorn with you. And he lights up. Like, it's a cool friend. Like, you're up out with a buddy, you buy some food, and you're like, hey, you know what?
It's a good gesture. So I don't mean to give away the punchline.
So I eat the popcorn. I'm about halfway down the container. So now there's kind of just the lower half, the small, and it's shaped like a cone. So, and before I give it to him, I have half my drink left, and I pour the drinks without him looking into the popcorn. Why I thought this was a good idea, I have no idea. And then I lean over, I'm like, all right, hey, you want to have some of the popcorn? And he's been, eyeballing the popcorn several times since we got there. I know he wants the popcorn. You need the popcorn on that wall. You want the popcorn on that wall. And he goes in full bore. He's not going to take a couple kernels. Yeah. He wants to scoop up a handful of that savory,
they've already found the secret
Orville Redenbacher goodness, and he dumps his hand into the container, which is now a viscous mush of fucking cornmeal, and screams at the top of his lungs. And it is not a dainty scream. It is not a loud, manly scream. It is like he just stuck his hand into the most vile pit of spiders that you could ever imagine, and pulling his hand out, which, by the way, shot wet popcorn nuggets all over the fucking place. All around us, he's like, and throws his hand around. Holy shit. And of course, what am I doing? I'm laughing like I just cured fucking cancer. I'm so proud of myself for having pulled this off.
It would have been less cruel if you pulled the dick out. I mean, come on.
At least he would have had the popcorn.
At least one handful of popcorn.
You would have at least been able to have some popcorn. It would have been nicer. It actually would have been nicer if I'd let him have the popcorn, and as soon as he put it in his mouth, I punched him in the fucking stomach and forced it out. At least he would have gotten a taste. A little flavor of the butter and the salt on his mouth before this raging fucking asshole ruined his movie-going experience and ultimately denied him the sweet popcorn goodness. But holy shit, was it funny. And I was so ridiculously proud of myself. And this, with that gem of a story, we move on now to segment 3 of tonight's video podcast. Segment 3, which we like to call The Question.
Questions.
As presented by James McGee. Our good friend James McGee, who likes to present us anytime we're hanging out together with things he calls hypotheticals. What would you do
if... Which we texted him an hour... 2 hours ago now, and he still hasn't replied.
One of the keys with
to get one straight
with the
from
James
the source.
McGee, the question is we actually would like
it's a question if he'll respond.
Yeah, that is
timely manner.
That is the question. The question is when will he respond? But in the absence of an actual hypothetical from James McGee, we now go to segment 3's The Question. Would you drink your own urine? So when thinking about Dune,
how are you going to explain it?
They want to explain it first. You don't have that great build-up, right?
Segue into this is why this is the question.
No, because now you just you put the question out. It's you get everybody excited about what the fuck are they going where are they gonna go with this? Okay, so if you are familiar with Dune, either the movies, the books, you might remember the Fremen characters, right? The desert suits. People. And to survive in the desert, they have these environmental suits called still suits. And one of the functions of the still suit is to keep your body moisture in and collect your perspiration and your urination and recycle it and allow you to...
Your feces as well.
Which I never understood, because what is it doing with the feces?
I don't know, but it's processed.
It's processing the feces, and I mean, I'm I get it, the idea if you take urine, a liquid, and you filter it enough, it should be, drinkable water, drinkable liquid. We're not going to go into that. Let's focus on the number one, not number two. So the idea came to me as like, okay, where do you tap out? Because the idea of the still suit is it filters it to the point where it is now drinkable water. And that's the only way you can survive in the desert. So the first question is...
stored in cash pockets.
Would you... Oh, yes. Wonderful Max von Sydow. Max von Sydow, just so good. The urination process. That was like a bad Sean Connery. It wasn't even a good one. Would you drink your urine if it was from a still suit?
Yeah. Yeah.
You would trust that the still suit manufacturers have done enough quality control
space
from X. From X. A lot of machines.
From Caladan.
A lot of machines on X.
Yes, a lot of machines.
Machines.
Oh? Yes?
I really hope we get a better Shaddam in this one. I don't know who Shaddam is in this one, but it better be good. It should be noted, by the way, that the new movie, we have not seen Fade. Beautiful Fade.
My beautiful Fade.
And his tiny little metal bikini, which we didn't know. By the way, I did not know this. I have the Funko Pop here, this Chase edition where he has the metal bikini, and we never actually see him from the back in the movie. We only see him from the front. No. So this is the first time we realize it is a metal bikini thong.
Staring at his tight.
Yeah, this whole time we've had Sting's tight ass.
Tantric sex ass. Just staring at his face.
A fucking metal thong. How uncomfortable. I can't have a cotton thong. It's just all up in... No, don't. Stay out of that area.
Why are you moving them over there?
Sorry. I'm taking your line of sight away from you. So... All right, so you will trust that the still suit manufacturers have done their due diligence, QC'd that thing, and that the filtration system...
even in the deep desert.
Even in the deepest desert, where it is forbidden to go. So still suit, yes. All right, next level. So, the next tier. Waterworld.
Waterworld. I just pee in a beaker and Mad Wizard.
It goes round and round, and then there's a little bubbly over here, and then it basically you turn a little spigot, and it goes.
You turn up. And it goes.
Which, by the way, I don't see anywhere in that entire contraption where any filtration is happening. It looks like it's like I'm going to pee into a swirly straw, and then I'm just going to drink it coming out the other end.
True, and he is a mutie, so you know.
Yeah.
That's a whole different aeration process.
And I'm just saying, I don't see Brita anywhere in there. Do you know what I'm saying? There's nothing where I'm saying it goes in something. You clearly see it going through some kind of filtration layer.
Yeah, or it's in the plant, and then, you squeeze the leaves or something.
Yeah,
there's no,
you
charcoal.
There's no charcoal home filter system. So he pees into this swirly gig thing that he has, and then he basically swishes it around his mouth and then spits it on a plant. Are you going to trust the post-apocalyptic ice has melted, it's an ocean world, and now somebody shows up to you and says, hey, if you pee in this, you can drink it? Which, by the way, begs the question. Water. I'm going to ask this question.
I would probably test it on the seawater first.
That's my question!
But
the guy is in the fucking ocean.
Well, clearly he's used it before.
Deciliters so and deciliters and deciliters of ocean water.
Why didn't he just
Why pee into it and re-drink it when you could... all right, so your urine is going to have all of these pollutants. I mean, that's the whole purpose, right? Get it out of your body. And high salt content. What does the ocean have in it? Some pollutants and salt content.
A lot of microplastics.
So I'm just saying, why would you not grab your cup and literally just pour it through the village?
I don't know why I just thought of that.
And I thought of it too. It's the first thing I thought of is, wait a minute.
Test it first. Why am I only testing it? Wouldn't that just be... using it?
You're not testing.
Why would I pee in a cup and then...
I'm going to test this thing with one of the trillion upon trillions of available water to me to see that from time to time, if I got to take a wee-wee, I can drink that too. Why drink your urine?
I mean, if I was desperate and I had one of those in the middle of the desert,
then that'd be different.
Yeah,
that's basically that's a still suit.
Do it
Keurig.
or die.
That's what it is. It's a still suit Keurig. It's literally just put my pea pod in, and then just it spits out some water for me. I get it in the desert. You're surrounded by water. You're filtering your urine.
It's blowing my mind that I just came to that realization.
I was today years old.
I was now years old.
We're at now, and we determined that the biggest flaw.
I buy the whole ice caps melting and then thousands of years.
That's understandable.
And mutant, adaptation, and then there's a magic tattoo on some orphan child.
I get it.
I buy all that.
Yep.
I buy all that. I buy that. One-eyed
Dennis
Hopper found the Exxon Valdez. That's not beyond thought.
No. Nope.
And at some point in there, I just bought you piss in it, and then it does the thing, and it's water. Meanwhile, you're sitting in a whole planet of water.
So why don't you just go? The one resource there's too much of, and yet we have come up with a solution for a problem that doesn't exist, and now, only today, in this moment,
we should Shark Tank.
We broke Waterworld. Shark Tank. We have broken Waterworld. I will never watch it again because I will be immediately taken out by the fact that this guy, instead of going over here and getting a nice fresh cup of seawater,
he likes it now.
Yeah, and
now it's a fetish.
Now there's a flavor. It's got to be a flavor thing. Yeah. Right? It's got to be salt water is a little too nothing for me. I like a little bit of asparagus in my water.
Tang in it.
That might be the funniest thing that has ever come out of this podcast.
He's still the guy didn't steal it.
No.
When the girls are on, it's
still there.
Probably still on. They didn't loot it when he got arrested.
Would you? Would you use another man's urine filter?
I don't know.
There's a limit to what. There's just certain things. It's like I won't share another person's toothbrush.
So it's still there. The girls never use it.
Not that we. Well, I mean,
in that
we never saw him take a shit. I mean, imagine what he does with that. That's he's probably got a fucking Cuisinart downstairs that turns it into fucking brownies.
That plant has that little peach
fertilizer. Fertilizer. Oh my God, Mike! I'm beside myself.
Take a break.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to think about resetting before. Wow.
Hilarious.
That is when they do. That is definitely.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah. So I think let's wrap up. Let's wrap the would you drink your own urine because there's the third.
I know kung fu movement.
Yeah, literally. Wait.
Whoa. There is no spoon.
Yeah. I get it. You were just Neo, where the bullets are coming at you, and you just boop boop. Nope, this isn't real.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
All right.
There's another level.
There's one more level, and that is
just straight up.
Straight up. No rocks.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Pink style.
No,
Is it bad if you drink urine? Yeah, I think it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But what if it's your own? Yeah.
So, since we never really even kind of fully answered the question if we would drink the Waterworld, because honestly, the logic now is destroyed for me. Yeah. I will never be able to go back to that question.
We found the
workaround. We literally solutioned it. Okay. Would you even in a dire circumstance, do you think you could drink your own urine? These are the big questions, people. This is the big stuff.
I don't. If it got that bad, I don't know that it would be watery enough. Sorry.
Woo! Okay.
So,
I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go with no. I'm gonna go with no because I think if it's gotten that bad, if it's gotten to the point where I'm saying, thinking to myself, do I need to drink my own urine
by choice? I'm sure I would. I'd do it. I mean, I've done it, but I'm sorry. I mean, I did. I mean, I would. Just in a dire sense.
No, I couldn't.
No, you couldn't do it.
No, I couldn't do it. I think it's one of those. It's kind of like people. People have food aversions to certain textures or other things. The mental block is strong enough that I don't think, even if my life depended on it, I could get past the mental block. Now, I'm glad I've never had to learn this firsthand to see whether or not my mental block.
Somebody else.
Oh, and now it's somebody else's. But everybody likes their own brand. I don't know that I could drink somebody else's vino if it's, just knowing it's like,
would break that.
It's not the stigma of my own urine. Okay? It's not that, I'll never eat of myself. No, man. I'd be more likely to cut off a thumb and nibble on that than I think to be able to drink my own urine. There's just something about that. So we're gonna wrap this part up because this has been one of those strangest questions I think we have ever had, and I am still quite mind blown by our incredible realization about the flawed logic, the biggest flawed logic
crystal revelations
in water world was the Mr. Coffee urine machine. So we're gonna then have to move on. I honestly don't know how we can possibly follow that up. I don't know. If you've somehow made your way to this now segment 4 of the podcast, and for any reason whatsoever that you have skipped or overlooked segment 3, let me suggest that you go back. That was awesome. That you go back and just watch segment 3. If you do nothing else, watch segment 3. That just blew my mind. My mind. But we move on. We go on to segment 4, which is the movie that never was. The movie that never was. Ooh. This is, with all of the things that were made, right? And all of the various things that have been rebooted, revamped, retooled, a lot of recycling of material. There are still some things out there that, for whatever reason, never made its way to the big screen. And we will share a couple of what we would love to see come and make its way to the big screen.
Give it a chance on the theater.
Yeah, give it a chance, man. Let's try something new. For crying out loud, you made 2 Smurf movies.
Try something old, new.
Let's take something else, very obscure, and turn it into a movie for me.
Something
I want to see it.
That nobody wants to watch.
Nobody.
Is why it hasn't been made
I don't
yet.
care. Do direct to video or streaming or whatever. But I want to see.
Listen up, Amazon Prime.
I want to see.
Throw some Netflix money at it.
Yeah, and that's fine. Only do 2 seasons. I get it. Okay, you don't have to. It doesn't have to run forever. But I think Silverhawks deserves its day on the big screen. Right? I mean, dun 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 dun. I want to see fucking Silverhawks on the big screen. I think that there's a whole untapped market of awesome 80s cartoons that never found their way.
Partly metal, partly real.
Dun dun dun. Silverhawks. God, it would be awesome.
Coming to a theater soon.
In a world. I mean, it would be. I think it'd be great. And what was the enemy in it? It was like Monster.
Yeah, he was the
with his big robot squid that he would fly through space, and he literally had he was like an 80s hair metal.
Star.
You know, you could get like Gene Simmons to just throw a fucking star tattoo on him. He was the fucking star, man.
He was the anti-Gem.
You know? So didn't they make a live action movie of Gem? Am I losing my mind? All right, fuck you. Okay, because if you can make a live action movie out of Gem,
enjoyable.
That's not the point.
Not like
how do you not do Silverhawks, but you'll do okay? All right, I digress. Mike,
like 6
talk me down. Talk me down. I'm getting upset that I haven't seen a live action Silverhawks.
Well,
what for you? What was the movie that was never made?
So, need a real life Thundercats, which is basically the same thing as Silverhawks.
Yeah,
they took Silverhawks. They took Thundercats, but they're from the same company with half the same voice actors.
Yeah, and basically the same lineup of characters. One you had Lionel, right? You had fucking what was the Snarf? Yeah, Snarf, Lionel.
Yeah,
right. Who was just basically a cringeworm.
Andy Serkis could be the best Snarf ever.
Oh my god.
You don't know.
And then they turned it into the Copper Kid, right?
Who just whistles.
Oh my god, from the planet of the mimes, the Copper Kid. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if they could make one of these, they could make very few alterations. It's all CG, so they could just be like, okay, let's reskin this Silverhawk as a cat.
Reskinning it.
And I would argue that if they did Thundercats...
DLC.
It was... Want to see the next episode?
Damage. But yeah, I mean,
just same movie reskinned, just the exact same movie. Instead of Monster, it becomes Momra. That's awesome. I love it. You get to watch the same plot.
Powers of evil.
Oh my god. Okay, so, and I would argue that if they did a Thundercats movie, it would be better than Cats. I mean, they could use the. Honestly, they shouldn't even use the same technology because that was almost freaky, creepy, weird. Thundercats would be right up there. Another one, we're pulling out the obscure. This is something that I would argue very few people probably remember, but there was a toy line and a brief cartoon.
You going Centurions or here?
Close. We're going Air Raiders. Air Raiders, the power of air. Where they would also fart into a contraption and clean air would come out the other side, even though they're completely surrounded by clean fucking air. They're gonna test it on the air before they use the fart air. Air Raiders. Air Raiders.
I remember the toys. I don't remember anything about the show.
Brief cartoon, like not even a season. It was like a, hey, let's put out a little short special to advertise our toys. And I think I don't remember anything about the Air Raiders. I don't know anything about their history, but I think because it's an untapped, you can do anything with it. Nobody knows. Nobody cares. Find a way to make air important again. And we have Air Raiders. Pirates of Air. Okay. Do you have another one? Or your Thundercats was your Hail Mary?
Thundercats is the big one.
All right.
I mean, I have Three's Company. Get one.
Oh, that's good. Mm-hmm. That's really good because I was so focused on like childhood animation kind of stuff, but you're talking about let's take Three's Company and make it like a rom-com kind of deal.
Yeah.
That could work. That could totally work. I don't have a lot of good jokes about it.
No.
Except I'd love to see, an updated. I'd like to see them bring it modern. A modern Three's Company.
I mean, I don't know.
There's at the B and 5C or I don't know. Is there a show like that already? I don't know.
Don't trust the
B and
the bitch in apartment 26ish.
I don't know. 227
maybe.
Nice. That would be a great movie. That would be a great movie. See, you're on fucking fire.
It would be Tyler Perry.
Oh my God, Tyler Perry presents 227. Medea in 227, man. It'd be fucking awesome.
Medea moves into 227.
Dude, next Friday night. Oh my God, that's awesome. Okay, I got one more. Yeah. I would love to see a live action, updated version of Mask. Mobile armored something.
Strike
Command with a K, because got to make it work. I would just to see somebody riding their motorcycle and all of a sudden.
Who doesn't want to see the going
Oh yeah.
I think James Bond has already done that.
Yeah, or who doesn't want to see basically Optimus Prime, the semi-truck, except now instead the back opens up and there's just a cannon that only shoots left. And the smokestacks come down and become boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to see that? So for me, just being able to see something like and then Bruce Sato with his
Oh yeah, because they also had
the masks had powers. Each mask had a different power. Yeah, and do you remember the name of the bad guys in Mask?
They're Venom.
Yes, Venom.
I don't know what the acronym was.
I don't know. I don't even know if there was. I mean, it kind of just works, even if it wasn't an acronym.
Pretty sure.
But so we're gonna do something. The
best toy I ever stole was a mask toy.
A mask toy. I like that. The best toy I ever stole was a mask toy.
I mean, it was, you
went.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this size.
Oh yeah, okay.
In a box,
How the hell did you pull that one off? Wait,
I don't know.
We're gonna get you in trouble now.
It was the Trailblazer one that had the pop-up.
Nice. Wow.
I don't know. Wow. Stuffed it under my shirt.
So I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do something we've never done in our podcast. We were about to move to segment 5, and it was going to be our last segment. But I am going to do.
Pump the brakes.
I'm going to do an audible. Because right now, just moments ago, we received a response from James.
We got a question.
McGee.
Did he actually send one, or just say sorry?
That's what I'm about to find out. I am now going to read, uncensored and unedited, the James McGee response. Let's see. The Fellowship sucked. Pick different characters to replace each member of the Fellowship, but they all have to come from a different movie. Merry and Pippin have to be replaced, but characters from a comedy and have to be the same height. Wow. He gave us 2.
There's only so many Peter Dinklage movies.
I was going to say, right? He gave us the second option. So we actually get to choose. We get to choose the audible version of the question. Selection number 2. You have the ability to interface directly with any technology and reprogram anything. Every time you do it, though, you forget someone you live with or see at least weekly. What do you do? See, had we not had the drink your own urine, which I thought was going to be a total, just blow our minds with Waterworld, this is what we would have had he just not responded a few minutes earlier. So we have either replaced the Fellowship, or you can interface directly and reprogram any technology, but every time you do, you got to Johnny Mnemonic yourself and dump some of your internal memory.
Workplace acquaintance.
No, it's someone you live with.
You said live with
or see at least weekly. All right, so it has to be somebody you see regularly. Now, okay, because he added the regularly, I probably could get away with it. There's a lot of people I wouldn't mind forgetting.
Or I still forget.
Anyways. Yeah, I still say, hey, guy.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. I sure do remember you.
How's that thing working out?
Yeah,
that happened.
Yeah, I remember the last time we talked. Words, and you told me something, and I probably responded.
Or not happy afterwards.
All right, so why don't we? Okay, we've clearly made it clear we'd be willing. I don't even know what I'd interface with.
I mean the internet.
The internet.
Basically.
Like go all Cybo Man. Go all Cybo Man, Lawnmower Man,
There's nobody has a home phone to actually ring all at the same time.
Well, you could ring everybody's cell phone at the same time.
But then that's interfacing.
And they're just going to assume that someone's trying to sell them.
Interfacing with a different...
Oh, easy there, Duncan. Sorry, Duncan.
But that's a different
put your shield on.
Interfacing with...
But no, okay. So then, all right. Now
I'm saying that
fuck it. You're getting too technical.
I know.
You're getting too technical.
I know, James. I know what he's going. That would be seen as a different system.
A different system,
than
different
internet.
interface. Okay. So the cell,
you would have
but you could interface with the cell
again.
system.
Yeah.
You could interface. So you could interface.
I mean, if you're fine giving
up
2 of your loved ones. I
mean,
never really knew my grandparents
anyways. For what amounts to a big, stupid prank. I'm going to ring every cell phone on the planet, which most people are going to assume means they're getting a call about their car insurance expiring. And I have to forget my wife as a result. I think I'd have to it'd have to be like I interface with the banking system. Yeah. If I'm going to forget somebody, I'm going to want to enjoy the forgetting part of it. All right, so let's do. So we got Fellowship sucked. Pick different characters to replace each character. I'm not going to worry about the Mary Pippin has to be the same height. Let us go.
We could use child actors. So
you could do that.
Maybe we should.
So I think we're just to keep the flow. Let's kind of be quick here. Who is Gandalf?
I don't know how quick I can go with this. Professor X.
Like the character Professor X or Patrick Stewart. Let's see. What did he say here?
The character.
Pick different characters to replace the each. Okay, so you're going instead of Gandalf. We're going with Wheels. Yeah, we're going. You shall not pass.
Yeah. Okay. It would be the Patrick Stewart one, not a McAvoy.
Not a McAvoy, Stewart. All right, so we're gonna go with. Okay, I'm with you. Boromir. I'm going with Borat.
Borat?
Yes. Instead of Boromir, we have Borat. So nice. Give me the ring. One does not simply go into Mordor. I think Borat would be awesome.
My ring.
Sorry, Paul. Oh my god. All right, so we got okay. So now we've done Boromir, and then you've got
Professor X and Borat.
Professor X and Borat, and then we have
Gimli.
Gimli, okay. Gimli. I got it. Between Two Ferns. Zach Galifianakis.
You're taking the character of Zach Galifianakis
from Between Two Ferns and put him into Gimli. Okay. I think it is Zach Galifianakis playing Zach Galifianakis from Between Two Ferns as Gimli, son of Gawain. And I'm literally like, who do I know has a beard? It's Zach Galifianakis.
Inception it.
Yeah, it's good. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a hell of a movie, man. Okay, so and then we you got Legolas. Who's gonna fill Legolas? Walks on snow. Elfie. Who's Elfie? Who's got like an elf?
Who's kind of. I'll go Eddie Murphy from Golden Child.
Yes! Oh, it's perfect!
How about the ring?
I love it! Okay, so we got Eddie Murphy from The Golden Child as Legolas. Okay. Oh, goodness, who do we have left? We have the rightful king of Gondor. What that was?
Oh, Aragorn.
Aragorn. Who's gonna play Aragorn? I got it. Brian Blessed as Zoltan the Hawkman.
Ooh, Zoltan.
Zoltan the Hawkman from Flash Gordon is now. Dive. Good.
Who did we say? Just say
Sauron's alive. Who did
we say for Gimli?
Gimli was going to be Zach Galifianakis. Yeah. Okay, we got Eddie Murphy, Professor X, and some other one. Or Borat.
Golden Child. Yeah, I got that. And then
okay,
we just did Aragorn.
I think are we down to the Hobbits? We're down to the Hobbits.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so
Aragorn is
going to be Brian Blessed, Hawkman.
Yeah. Okay.
Voltan, the Hawkman. All right. So, let's start with Samwise Gamgee. Samwise Gamgee. Oop, I got one. I'll give you a second, but if not, I'm going to go with mine.
I'm going to keep mine for probably Merry or Pip.
Okay, I'm going with Chunk.
Chunk?
Samwise Gamgee is now Chunk from the Goonies.
Yeah.
It works, right?
Yeah.
Totally works. And here, I'm going to blow your fucking mind.
Frodo.
I'm going to blow your mind because I got Frodo perfectly lined up.
Merry,
Frodo
Pip
is Sean Astin, Mikey from the Goonies. In a total inception within an inception.
Going to double dip.
Instead of him being Samwise, later in life, he's going to go back and be Mikey as Frodo. Mm-hmm. You know? Okay. And then we have Merry and Pip. And Merry and Pip have to be... Merry and Pippin have to be replaced by characters from a comedy and have to be the same height. Comedy and the same height. So who is your...
Who's more... Which one do you think's the more goofy one? Probably Pip.
Definitely Pip.
Pippin,
Yeah.
So I'll go Alf for Pippin. We go Alf. Pippin is now Alf.
Well, then Mary's got to be Punky fucking Brewster.
Punky Brewster?
Punky Brewster?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I was leaning towards the Small Wonder Robot.
Yes! No! You win! I completely bow to the Small Wonder.
Was it Samantha? Was her?
I don't remember.
I want to say Samantha.
We can go with that because the Small Wonder Robot, absolutely as Mary.
The 9.
I think we've got him right. 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think we
9.
missed anybody. Yep, we got the 9. And then I think it's very. I think ultimately then the Elven leader Elrond is played by Balki Bartakamus. Bronson Pinchot. Serge. I think he should be played by Balki. All right, we can tell James that we officially addressed the audible by text, the question, and have now redone. So very quickly, please, Mike, would you read and recap our Fellowship of the Ring?
Our Fellowship starts with Gandalf as Professor X. And then we have Boromir as Borat. We have Gimli as Zach Galifianakis, as played by Zach Galifianakis. Then we have Legolas as Golden Child Eddie Murphy. And then we have Aragorn as Voltan from Flash Gordon. And then we double down on the Goonies, and we have Samwise Gamgee as played by Chunk. And,
I love it.
And we have Frodo. Frodo is played by Mikey. And then we have the cousins. We have Merry as the Small Wonder robot. And Pippin is Alf.
I'm telling you, I would go see that in the fucking theater.
Pippin is Gordon.
I would go
Gordon
see that.
Shumway.
I would see that Fellowship of the Rings movie in a fucking heartbeat. I would go see it. Just to see the interaction between the Small Wonder robot and Alf. I would go see that movie. This is one of the, like, you remember growing up, they used to have like those, the TV stations would like bring stars and characters.
Battle of the Network
Yeah, like Battle
Stars.
of the Network Stars.
And then would have to, you know.
That's what this was,
walk
man.
a tightrope.
That's what this was.
Swimming.
You got to see if I can fight with a massive Q-tip against Mr. Belvedere. Streets all the time. Oh, I just knocked you on your ass, oh boy. Oh my God. Segment 6.
I got kicked out.
No one stares. Segment 6, ladies and gentlemen, the last segment, thank God, of this episode is, of course, the same way we like to end all of our video podcasts. It is with the soundtrack of our lives.
The Cosmic Jukebox.
I think before we get into our selections for this edition of the podcast, we should let folks know that we've done enough, finally, of these, that Mike took it upon himself to create the mentally unbalanced Cosmic Jukebox playlist on Spotify. And we will be adding that link so you can, oh my God, it's going to be the weirdest collection. Not because just because each episode we choose a very different theme, but between you and me,
yeah,
the selections of music they're out there. They're out there. But I promise you will be
it's a bit schizophrenic.
You'll be entertained. I think you'll be entertained. So we will be providing a link to the official Mentally Unbalanced Spotify Cosmic Jukebox playlist. In following with our theme, this episode, the soundtrack of our lives are going to be movie related. That could be a song about movies. It could be a song from a movie. It's pretty open, but soundtrack, movies, something there. So I'm going to start. Here's an interesting thing. I have a vast library of movie soundtracks, and normally for soundtrack of our lives I go with the vinyl. I pick something out of my vinyl, and I do have something I'm gonna share from my vinyl collection, but for once it is not going to be my selection. My selection for the Cosmic Jukebox is not something I have on vinyl, but I'm going to go with my. Do we want to go with what we choose and then some honorable mentions, or honorable mentions?
We can do the honorable mentions.
Do the honorable mentions. Okay, I've got one vinyl honorable mention, which I think is okay. We can add one of this song to the Cosmic Jukebox.
Yeah, I add the honorable mentions as well.
And that is DC Cab, the official soundtrack on vinyl to DC Cab, featuring, of course.
You are going.
Wow, a young Bill Maher and we got. Oh, I can't even. Bill Maher. That's not Bill Maher. Bill Maher.
Gary Busey.
Gary Busey. I know him because he was in Buckaroo Banzai. Yeah. Mr. T, of course, Mr. T.
Mr. T.
But what really sets this from a soundtrack perspective is one of the very iconic soundtrack performers for movies just like this, also featured in things like Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo, and that is Irene Cara.
Oh.
Irene Cara. So for this, we are going to add The Dream.
Ooh.
The Dream from Irene Cara from DC Cab. My honorable mention for this episode. Okay. All right, Mike, to you, sir.
So I went kind of a toss-up between Yoda and The Saga Begins.
Ooh! And you know what? It's our Spotify list.
I'm going to put both of them on.
We're going to put them both on there, man.
But that's my honorable.
I
probably lean more towards Yoda, but I like The Saga Begins as well.
Well,
I don't like American Pie, the song, that much.
But Weird Al Yankovic did such a good job.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the fact that my children only know the Saga Begins version,
not the original version.
Like, not that long ago, we were in the car and American Pie came on, and they're like, this isn't the words.
That is my favorite.
So
there are a number of songs that when they come on the radio that by the original artist, I can only sing the Weird Al versions of those songs. I absolutely love Weird Al. And I have the same thing. There's a number of songs where it's come on the radio and the kids are like, did they take this from Weird Al? No, that's actually not how that works.
Stop. Rewind.
Try it again. Stop. Flip those. There you go. All right, so let's get to my choices here. So I have two. One of them's a bit on the nose, and that is Let's Go to the Movies from Annie. Because for whatever reason, even for first of all, very on the nose, it's literally Let's Go to the Movies, but it has one of my favorite moments in the movies where they're getting, it's like when someone says, "Give the maid the night off," and then there's Warbucks going, "Turn the kitchen light off." I'm like, that is exactly me. I'm the fucking asshole when everyone is singing and dancing about "Let's Go to." I'm like, what are we gonna trying to cool the whole block? Close the fucking refrigerator. I loved him. I love that moment. Let's go to the movies, Annie. Is my first choice. My first choice. And before I give my final choice, do you have another one, or are you done? Are you ready?
I got my final one. So
okay.
You could complete yours.
All right, I'm going to complete my 2-for-1 since you got your Weird Al 2-for-1. I'm going to go with my 2-for-1. My other one is a song called Kung Fu by an artist called Ash. And I think it was the first time I heard it. It's the end credits to Jackie Chan's Rumble in the Bronx, and I've attempted to cue it up, which means you're gonna have to give me a second here. Here we go. This is a snippet from that. Let me get.
Plus, he just loves head injuries.
So I remember that in the closing credits at the end of the Rumble in the Bronx, like many Jackie Chan movies, they do all the various outtakes and multiple attempts at the stunts. And I think if I actually read the words, it's probably fairly outdated and borderline racist. Because they're, like Fu Manchu, and there's a lot of reference. They're basically like say, let's have every classic kung fu stereotype. Yeah.
That's not good.
So
what I said isn't good.
No,
to
but
describe it, but
that's my choice. That is assuming we can get it, because it's pretty obscure. We will add Kung Fu
that's on Spotify
by Ash. And if not, I will find a suitable, equally racist replacement. So, maybe the Crows song from some early Disney stuff.
Zippity-doo-dah.
Yeah, some. Okay, before this goes into a place we can't come out of, Mike, what is the last song?
I chose Fat by... Oh. Wow.
Whoa!
What just happened?
Wow. Let's try that again.
The train derailed.
Try it again, man. Let's try it again.
So, that's what he uses. Fatboy Slim, keeping with our whole Duniverse. Weapon of choice.
Oh!
My voice. my weapon of choice.
You walk without rhythm, you won't disturb the worm. If you walk without rhythm, you never learn. Oh my God. And you could go with this, and you could go with that, and you could go with this, and you could go with that, and you could go with this, and you could go with that, and you could go with us. That is awesome. That is awesome. Walk without rhythm, weapon of choice by Fatboy Slim. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the close of this episode of the Mentally Unbalanced podcast featuring your... I know, and I'm sorry, but I can say just a couple things. First, we'll be back before you know it with an updated soundboard to boot. Until then, we have a couple small, modest favors to ask. First of all, if you've enjoyed this video, do us a huge favor. Click subscribe. Click that subscribe button.
You never put the button up there, though.
I'll put the button. I
mean, we're all...
yeah.
Put over, and our phone number is right here. And then...
you knocked over Fade, Mike. Come on. If you like this video, go ahead and click subscribe. And of course...
like this plastic ass.
this tasty look at Sting's bottom.
Taut, tantric ass.
I'm trying to close the
like
show.
Button.
Oh my God, I'm trying to close the show.
Wind it down, do the things, like, rate,
subscribe.
Review.
Subscribe. Check us out on Facebook at Mentally Unbalanced COI. Until then, I'm Dave Floss, the Kwisatz Sountrack.
I'm that flying fat man.
And we are Mentally Unbalanced. We'll see you again soon.